find us. Trying to find our way out and put this darkness behind us. And underground is my oration, sound integration. But situation is we're surrounded by light negation. It's black as pitch cause we're trapped by our violent souls. In a deep mind with deep rhymes won't keep my self-control. Too many foes, we feel snake bit and we won't take it. Enemies need their face hit, we going ape shit.
Hell is my confinement within this mind. Now trapped and enshrined by my own mind.
Shoot through these tunnels and keep it moving, no knuckle dragging. It's like a jungle, etc. Keep zigging and zagging. These lizards ready to fire in military attire. Heaters, cannons, entire arsenals, bangers for hire. We only got double barrels, but we don't monkey with them. Just throw shots and we hit them to this industrial rhythm. Still searching for the light, still more to fight. Still at war with our plight, but still we're sure of our own collective might.
Hell is my confinement within this mind. Now trapped and enshrined by my own mind. Hell is my confinement within this mind. No way out for running out of time.
Time to get fractious, we practice guerrilla tactics. Regular G's can't match this, so I ain't trying to attack us. I'm a bad boy like Diddy, but I ain't talking Sean John, cause it's on like Son of Khan. Gots to get our chimp on, that means we simply simulate simians simultaneously. And all y'all snakes beastin' to kill us is living dangerously. Straight bananas is the conflict these opponents hand us. So battle status, in these catacombs we got no manners.
All I know is pain to give the same. All I have ingrained is hate. Misery of shame forever will remain. So I must regain my faith.
Threats come relentless in this zoo. No one defends us, and they won't commend us when we're through. It don't matter, cause I'm after something resembling peace. I get madder every other day that this shit don't cease. Since our conception, downward has been my life's direction. Had no protection from evil factions and predilections. Heart of a killer, gorilla, pillar of coffin fillers. Nothing vanilla about us, true thriller, minute gorillas. Our main position, this mission, is to improve conditions. And it's our own volition, we ain't looking for permission. Vanish from our position like we're magicians. In addition, our plan to see freedom's light comes to fruition.
Hell is my confinement within this mind. Now trapped and enshrined by my own mind. Hell is my confinement within this mind. No way out for running out of time.
Because we're stuck in this house. We are stuck in it.
We ain't taking it. We going ape shit. We ain't taking it. Yeah, we going ape shit. We going ape shit. We going ape shit. We going ape shit.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me,
Duke CT back with you once again. Whew. What a day, 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 what a day. Oh, wow, man, it has been a heck of a day. And honestly, it's not really surprising and what have you, but hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. I had to do some stuff here. But anyway, what a day. Let's talk about the thing that people are most talk about. uh, let's see. Share the screen. Um, Nintendo Switch 2. Yes, the most maligned system here that everyone thought was like all the drama with it, like, the lack of virtual cards, all this type of stuff. And now it's now it's just one of the most biggest things. People were camping out. People had water-through tents, like here, lawn chairs stood in line, stretched several city blocks. People were just stuck as, Luigi, Mario, all that stuff, which we all know why Luigi is being that. It's about, all that, this and the other. Yeah, it sold, the Switch 1 was over 150 million units. It was a huge success. And now Switch 2 has become one of the biggest things. They wanted, 70% of Best Buy customers indicated that they wanted to pick up their Switch 2 in stores. And the vast majority of those customers will be there at midnight. And yeah, a huge midnight thing came out last night, and they were selling units at midnight only to those who secure reservations on their website, being lit, meaning many lining up outside its New York City location. Doing so, all that other stuff. But yet, I'm in this camp, by the way. Nintendo even warned in its message on its website that delivery by June 5th is not guaranteed for customers who had not already secured pre-order invitations. Through consumers have been fatigued by high prices amid the ongoing trade war, Nintendo said in April that it will not be affected by the price hike of $499 device at launch and $500 for the Super Mario stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be here. Say Russell racism. Hey, what's up? Just doing a little Nintendo stuff here. Oh God, get this idiot around this Trump stuff. No, get him out of here. Yeah, this could but yeah, it's the Switch 2 for creation new games, new jobs, all that stuff, like the layoffs and everything. But this huge thing has pre-orders and everything else. It's one of the biggest launches at this point, Nintendo Switch 2, and it's been such a huge launch. One of the biggest stuff out there. Launches, as I see, people are just like, it is so the asking thing was so huge. It was huge and such. And let's see. There were some issues, like for example, over this story here, GameStop damaged Switch 2 screens with staples, but they're getting replaced. Yeah, they actually picked up. It's like, oh my gosh, it was supposedly right here, staples and everything else. It's like, wow, one of the most like, oh my gosh, it just poked through the screen and everything else. It just really made mistakes here. But it was only an isolated incident. But it was but yet more often not. Yeah, the demand was immense. And even though the games are not really, there's not much big games for it. The Switch 2 is one of the biggest stuff here. Big and just surprisingly so. And such. It's just like long lines and everything. So people, like I said, people were pissed off about it, but oh, you're not gonna own your console. Oh, you're not gonna do this. But guess what, kids? At the end of the day, guess what happened? People still bought the games. People still bought the stuff. People still did the stuff here too. I'm not in that this whole situation. I'm not really like I said, it is, I look at the actions of people. And I think that's the end of the day. It is actions, not, the most important. And like I said, the actions have to be the most important thing. And the actions are that many people were excited about this product, regardless of the cost, $500, $449 or whatever. That is what people wanted to go see. That's what it is. So yeah. So yeah, that is my thoughts on this whole situation about that whole Nintendo Switch. There's other stuff I can talk about, the whole Trump Musk stuff, but honestly, that is entertainment and all wrestling and besides. But what else is to say? But everyone else is saying. But yeah, it's a day of it. But I want to wait till the I want to wait, like I said, until real consequences for anything else here. But you know what? What's happening in the world of wrestling is shocking stuff here. One of the big stories I was going to cover last week, but I wasn't feeling well. R-Truth. Wow. He is gone. A shocking news story. Our truth. And this is connected, ladies and gentlemen, to another thing which we're going to talk about later on about supposedly. And this is again, this is all this other stuff here. Um, about all this stuff is happening here. Let's see about what's going on. Let's see about the our truth really released, and this is a shock for so many people. Let me just see if I can put this, share the screen. Long time stuff here. Yeah, this is a shocker. Yeah. Uh-huh. But he did play the game. Yeah, he did. He played the game and he did right to it. But at the end of the day, our truth is still on. He's got to get. He's gone. Our truth is late. He's gone, and it was like surprised because of and he apologized for it. He shouldn't apologize and everything else. Ron Killings have been released. By the way, he looks great for 53. And it says, I'm sorry to inform y'all, got released with WE. Want to take WE for the ride. Mostly, I want to take each and every one of you who is along for the ride. It says, thanks for the love and support. And yeah, Ron Killings was, fired. And the reason why is because they couldn't renegotiate his contract, apparently. This is a this is not really but this whole situation comes up negotiated TKO. And by the way, this is not surprising. TKO does this with legacy wrestlers and such. This is not a surprise. Oh, they could have given them permission. They could, but again, they don't want WE. This is WE. They don't want to. You look at UFC. I think this is remember Chuck Liddell from the UFC and such. He was one of the most most loved of UFC fighters. And guess what happened? Even though he has some issues about his massive battery and all the other stuff here, but he was in 2013. He was going to have this. He was going to be in an office and such. He's going to be having an office deal, but then I believe that he was fired from that because of. I think. Let's see if I can find the story about this. About Chuck Liddell getting fired by the UFC, because I think that is what happened. Let's see if I can find the stuff here, because I know this happened. Want to make sure I can confirm this, because let's see. Yes, here it is. Let me just see if I got the article right up there, because this is what they do. This is back in 2018. Story right here. Some Bleacher Report right here. Were laid off by the new owners of UFC. UFC legends Chuck Liddell, Matt Hughes were laid off by the organization's new owners Friday. It says WME, which bought the UFC in July, is reportedly laid off 10 to 50 employees after firing roughly 7 to 80 about a month ago. This is again 2018. 46-year-old Liddell hadn't stepped at the concert since 2010. He finished with a high record, and after all the stuff here, he said he wanted to retire and all the stuff. But yeah, this is what they do. They chew you up and spit you out. That's what TKO, the new management TKO, do. Is that they see things as replaceable. You are replaceable, and especially they don't care They only care about the line going up, and they don't care about like any type of history or anything else. They don't care. And now we look at this story. You see what's happening here, and this, and then you look at this story here. Apparently, this happened today. Backstage tension is reported WWE regarding R-Truth's current status, and they are not pleased with talent wearing his merchandise on the June 2nd, the previous week's Monday Night Raw. And it says this is supposedly the report here. We've seen it before. Someone concerned or is on the way out. A talent might sneak on their gear or wear a shirt. When the source told WrestleVotes, pointing to Dominic still wearing a Carlito, "That's not cool" t-shirt during the show. But apparently they didn't want anyone wearing R-Truth shirts on Monday night. And then again, Rhea Ripley was posting a photo to social media the day after Raw, proudly wearing an R-Truth shirt, seemingly in solidarity following reports of released. There was no, and then she had to take it off. She would wear a sports bra and such. So there is something, what's going on here. They are just, it is you're done. You are completely forgotten about by this stuff here. And now, let's see if I can get the story up here about what happening to, supposedly. Let's see. Let's see if it's contract and such. This is a rumor, by the way. This is all rumors. This is all BS. But knowing what the history of TKO and the people in the ownership is, let me just see if I can get the links up. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. No send-off, nothing. Yeah, that's what it is. No send-offs or anything. But let's see what's right here. Let me look and see the story here about this. And you look what's going on right now. When I show you those articles, this is rumors. 100% rumors. This could be 100% fake and everything else. But knowing what the history is right here, looking at the history of this company and the ownership, this is not really a surprise. TKO allegedly wants to renegotiate Roman Reigns' $15 million contract amid cost-cutting efforts. Even though they are having record-setting buy rates, record-setting this, record-setting that, the billion-dollar deals they have, they still got to cut. They got to cut costs or what have you. What is going on to what they're doing here? This could be that supposedly Hugo Savinovich. This again, all this other stuff here is the details is from Jim, whatever. But he's talking about this stuff here. So I was at the gym receiving information, studying what I'm about to share with you. And honestly, the more I saw the data being shared by me, which online president Javier Gonzalez and Vice President Michael Morales, I couldn't believe it. After I finished the gym, I sat down to look at everything. And what I'm going to talk about has to do with Roman Reigns. That's right, Roman Reigns. I never thought we'd be discussing this topic. I was surprised. I think you'd be even more shocked. Supposedly, this is on the last podcast from Jonathan Coachman and Tommy Carlisle. TKO executives are rethinking the handle Roman Reigns' contract. They don't want to have him keep paying him $15 million a year. It says that they said TKO executives are reconsidering how to handle Roman Reigns. While they won't outright release him, he won't be making $15 million a year anymore. The base salary was $5 million. On top of that, he earned extra money for pay-per-view matches, video game deals, 2K, W2K, promotional events, merchandise, where he receives 30% from sales, and bonus for international shows like those in Saudi Arabia. He's earned a set of ticket sales, and that added all up to $15 million a year. And he's outside. He has a strong brand, so he has agents, but WWE still manages outside deals and took a cut. Even then, Roman made millions. He said for another Hollywood movie, supposedly he's going to be, in the new Street Fighter film, if they are going to make it. But now look at this stuff here. All the money here, he's a viable brand, but And if he gets more money, they do not want to have, they're trying to cut all this cost. That's what it is. And also, he isn't working full time. And remember, Roman Reigns, Joe and I, and all that stuff. He is a recovering cancer patient. People seem to forget that. His leukemia came back and he crushed it. That's good. You don't know when that stuff is. He's on a ticking time bomb. Not time bomb, but a ticking clock. A ticking clock of him. Basically, I would not be surprised if Roman Reigns is not going to be here, like in the wrestling world, the wrestling ring, in about 2 to 3 years. I think he's about to dip, and that's one of the main issues right now. Exactly. The TKO with W. I don't think so. I think let me see how much they bought. I gotta check. We gotta check and we'll see. So I don't think it's 21 billion. I don't know if it is, because it could be, he sold it to supposedly, this is my brave AI here. He sold it to the deal $9.3 billion to form a new company. This is Vince McMahon selling it. The company called TKO Holdings. They also include UFC, valued at $21 billion overall. So yeah, it's the TKO group. So yeah, and my thing is this. My whole question then becomes here: if they are going to start doing this cost cutting, and if they did say the impossible happens, Roman Reigns leaves. Roman Reigns is gone. Who is WE as build up? Who they built them up for? Who did they build with that talent with WWE? Right now, you look at their main roster, the people who are on top right now. Let's see, who's they built up over the years. For the past the youth generation. Let's see. The only people I've seen that they have been elevated to that main event status is Solo Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu is already launched him. Hell, Jacob Fatu, the reason why he's popular is because of the work he did at MLW, and he's just basically just leapfrogged Solo Sikoa at this point in every aspect. But honestly, looking at other people and everything else, other situation, let's look. You have Cody Rhodes. He was in the late 30s and the 40s. Sami Zayn, he's up there. Who else? Who else in the male? All that stuff. Damian Priest in his 40s. Drew McIntyre, late 30s and such. Seth Rollins, late 30s, early 40s. You can say, well, what about Braun Breaker? Braun Breaker is finally getting shine now, but is he going to be the one to really be that tip of the spear like they did with Cena and Batista back in 2000, I think 5? I don't think so, and I think something right here is true. He is not. WWE has not successfully started and completed a program since Triple H has come into creative power. I say yes. And that's the real issue, is that all the stuff here still has the fingerprints of Vince McMahon. And everything he has done, all the stuff from WE and everything else has just been very lukewarm. That John Cena heel turn, shocking, great, but now it's basically limping and it feels like an afterthought. Honestly, I'm going to say this right now. They really messed it up because, one, they put all that energy on Monday Night Raw, which basically made their World Heavyweight Champion feel like an afterthought, which is, by the way, Gunther, who is in his 30s right now, was seen to be just a complete afterthought. This entire championship reign was an afterthought reign. It was an afterthought reign, and that was and it felt like a glorified Intercontinental Championship run. In fact, I'm going to say this: the Intercontinental Championship felt more higher up than the world title scene during the weeks building up to Monday Night Raw. Building up to WrestleMania. In fact, you can look at Monday Night Raw when it debuted on Netflix. What was the most important thing there? It was the old talent, and talent that just wasn't really. That's what it is. And Gunther was not even on the show. They showed a little bit of a video package. In fact, the thing they had, the big thing they have right there, and I'm gonna say this, was Hulk Hogan getting booed. Hulk Hogan getting booed was the biggest thing in that whole story. That was the biggest thing in the show. You know? Um that's the problem with this whole with WWE. They have no real stars, and they haven't really created any stars, quite honestly, since Batista and Cena. And they had chances. They had multiple chances. They had multiple chances with Punk back in the early 2010s and 2008. They had the Nexus. Remember the Nexus? Months later, after the SummerSlam, heck, after Money in the Bank, it just fell apart. It fell apart completely. The Nexus, they could have multiple stars and it failed. They were clowns, and especially after survive SummerSlam, it was done. Say what you want. The Miz was supposed to be something, and then after a year later, heck, you could say after losing the WWE Championship, he was right down to the mid card or lower mid card again, and not even featured as being a world champion ever again, or even as a serious threat ever again. You look at, say, Jack Swagger, failure, completely a failure. You have some, and most of them, most of the stars they tried to create were just already were part timers. You had The Rock coming back. Cena was basically getting up there. He should have been putting over the new talent. Instead, they didn't put up over new talent. They didn't, and then we had all those stars and everything else. The wishy-washy half booking or whatever, the terrible booking they did under Vince McMahon. They never really created any new stars. In fact, the only place they actually tried to create new stars was NXT. And when they got to the main roster, guess what happened? They completely and totally failed. I mean, and in some cases was sometimes the wrestlers, or some often not, it was Vince McMahon the way they booked them. And then they put them in the situations that they were meant to fail. That's the main problem. Vince McMahon was responsible for all of this because he panicked after WrestleMania, I think 26. Didn't have a very big number. WrestleMania didn't get 1 million. He should have said, you know what, let's look back in ourselves, try to rebuild, and try to make the youth. We're going to take a hit, but if I start planning for the future and start actually building for the future, maybe we'll bring in The Rock, but also we can bring in maybe not Lesnar, so they can just forget about the championship or whatever for 6 or 7 months. And that's the problem. Heck, people love when Roman Reigns held that title for long, but I'm like, no, this is the same issue when you had with Brock Lesnar. Is that the championship was held for so long to the point it was a hindrance to everywhere else on the show. It started under Brock Lesnar because WWE could not build new stars. And he says, do you believe Vince McMahon had a hand in how bad the WWE is today? Or do you think, honestly, he had a huge hand. Vince had a huge hand in what the everything from the part-timers to no young stars really getting popular stuff. NXT becoming a complete joke because of the whole, AEW stuff out there and the Wednesday Night Wars. And if you could, the reason why was that whole barrier of Karrion Kross, who was also going to look like he's going to be released soon. That whole, he came, he came to Monday Night Raw without his entrance, without Scott or whatever. He lost in 2 minutes to Jeff Hardy. He looked like he was about to cry, and then next show came back to NXT, lost his championship belt, looked like a complete utter clown when he came back, then got released. This was supposed to be your new talent and new star, and you made him look like a damn fool. And by the way, he was your NXT champion at the time. Now, you have old Paul Levesque, who is trying to do stuff, but I don't think he is capable as much as people love him and everything else. He has not been capable to really make new stars. And I think when you look at the way he handles pay-per-views now, which all these ads and all these just long periods and such, and heck, in some matches that just does not deserve to be in a card. I will still say this right now, and it perplexes me when you have you have you see that 2 out of 3 falls tag match at the Royal Rumble. The first time the tag team championships have been defended on the PLE since who knows. And that crowd did not care. It did not care for the Motor Machine Guns. It damn sure didn't care for DIY. The only time they actually cared was when the Street Profits showed up and beat everyone down. It was supposed to be a heel turn. But once again, they failed at that, so they had to turn them face again. 2 times they tried to turn the Street Profits to villains, and they failed massively. And then you look at AEW, they had I think Samoa Joe and Hook had a tag match with some jobber team, and that got more pop and more energy than anything in that tag match. What is going on? What is going on with that tag division? And they had a decent story, too. What is going on? Street Profits have not been on PLE since we're in 6 months in 2025. They're right back here when they started, and also they lost to Fraxum, I think, as well. So, yeah, they're about to lose the belts again when they get back to a PLE, SummerSlam. Book that. That's what's going to happen. So, or it's going to be the night after. That's the problem. These 5-match PLEs, these 5 matches that honestly feel like so just like, I understand not every match, they should be a balance. And I'm like, fine, you want to do ads or whatever? Fine. But at least pace them out. Sit there and pace them out better. Have matches that actually feel like they're important to you. They feel important. And get crowd to care. You know what? Those machine guns, the crowd doesn't care about them. The DIY, they don't care about them. They care more about Street Profits. They care about Fraction. They care. Find teams and people that care. And if they can't get care, find out to do something with them. Put them in NXT. Put them in, another brand or whatever. Put them involved. I don't know. Or AAA, which is another thing they bought. Now they have another bit more debt, so they can have more commercials or whatever. Yeah, it is. It's the same. And you know what? It is. That is the problem. They have the same, but they don't know what to do with the next story is. Honestly, when they first had that, when Jay came back, she basically destroyed Naomi multiple times. There's no story there. The villain has been defeated multiple times. When Naomi, that was the first couple out, now she's running away. It's backwards. They should have had Naomi and Jay. In fact, that whole first beatdown, I think, was pretty a bad idea. It was good for shocking, but I think Naomi should have been like, they'll have some powder in the eyes or something after their first fight or something, or she ran away at the next time, or whatever. She just, or what have you, just have that type of beatdown and just have her beat down with a kendo stick or a metal pipe or something. Stuff like that feel like, oh my gosh, she's going to really feel that way. There is no betterment. Naomi has never gotten the best of Jade because of that. It just feels like, and now she's getting rewarded with a Money in the Bank match. Let me just see. Let's see. I just gotta see. Let's see. Load up. Let's see. The last time is now. Yada yada yada. Money in the Bank. Let's see. Superstars. Let's see. Feature superstars. I think it's somewhere here. Somewhere. Money in the Bank. Let's see. Men's Money in the Bank. Let's see. The ladies' Money in the Bank. Let's see. No, and she's been, and that's the most part. I'm saying, yeah, she's been rewarded. Look, Naomi has been rewarded for being a coward and not winning any type of huge match. She stole a victory because I think some chicanery or what have you. And Nia Jax is, I think she pinned Jade off something. I don't know. And by the way, I'm gonna say this though. I think that there's a lot of people in this match that should not be in this match because I think they're way too early. I think um, Stephanie Valkyrie should not be in the match because I think she should be in that women's Intercontinental Women's U.S. Championship picture. They need some ladies in that division now. I think there's so many people. I think Alexa Bliss should be in that position. I think maybe Kairi Sane should be there as well. That sort of thing. Kairi Sane, all of that stuff. They should be in that mid card now because they are struggling. Why make championships if they not have enough people to actually fight for it? That's my issue, and that's another issue right there. Uh that's nice. Best friends for you, yeah. Oh yeah, they've been the best heels. So by the way, yeah, what happened to Wesley? Yeah, Wesley has just been he was going to face Trick for the world title, but guess what? They just forgot about that. Now he's on another like threesome team that I don't care for. And Trick has turned heel and carrying the fourth brand belt. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. No. Let me scratch that. Let's see. WWE, let's see, Raw and SmackDown, they're like 1 and 2, 1A, 1B. Whatever. Raw's number 1, SmackDown's number 2, NXT's the 3rd, AAA is probably the new 4th, Evolve is 5th, and TNA is what? 5th, 6th brand? Oh, yeah, it can go low. And I think it can get even lower. It always does. And that's the main problem. There is no bottom that we can actually get down to and just, and everything else. By the way, if you want to know my personal thing here, I'm just going to say that it's going to probably be, if I had to pick Money in the Bank winner, I would say Alexa Bliss via spooky stuff. Spookiness is going to help them win. Help her win. Huzzah. So yeah, I think that's going to be another these issues once again, and I think that's one of the main problems is that WWE has this. They don't have this the lack of real young talent that actually can build them up through. And if they do get hot, they put in these forgettable type of matches and feuds. I mean, remember Carmelo Hayes? Remember that? He had that great 7-match feud with Andrade, and since then, he done. He gone. I wouldn't be surprised he's going to be cut too. I wouldn't be surprised Trick Williams get cut. They're all going to get cut. So that's what we have, man. We are not in a very positive stuff. The only thing positive I saw a couple of this week of wrestling was AEW's like 4-hour show, which the problem with that is that it's 4 hours, and oh boy, they at 3 hours and a half, I think they just lost the steam with it, and maybe that's just me. I got exhausted around like the 3rd hour. I mean, there was some good stuff, but man, it's just like, oof, it's too much, way too much. And it did a pretty good job ratings rise. So, they're gonna have another one next week. Oh gosh, if that does even better, oh my, oh gosh, they're gonna try to push to do a 4-hour show. No, just do a special once in a while. I'm a once in a while person. That's fine, but don't do this like every week. You know what I'm saying? Too much programming. It's too much. And that's the issue. It's too much programming. Too much stuff. I'm not even getting into the indie stuff too. It's too much. It's way too much stuff. It is too much stuff, and it's and it's so messed up because it's the only consistent television. And that's the messed up part. This is the most consistent thing on television right now. Pro wrestling. It is the most. There's no sitcoms anymore. All the TV shows on streaming is basically like they're like miniseries at this point. They are many. They are 8 episode, highly expensive miniseries. There is no. I say this again. There are no such things, and I said this right now on Twitter, and I'll say this right here, and I'll put this right here if you can see my little tweet here. And I believe this is my whole thing. Let me just see it here. There, exactly. We have no television shows. In this era, they are expensive miniseries. And as one one man said on a wrestling show, at least, tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have TV shows. It is just expensive miniseries and pro wrestling. That's it. And even the wrestling's not doing well too. And I mean, the Netflix stuff is going down to a Raw. What? I don't know what to do. I don't know what is going on, man. I'm getting like it's side quest. It hurts me, man. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it is. They came a long way, but it's still the cheapest thing around. That in reality television, and even then, the reality TV has been, they're slowly going away as well. That's been replaced by YouTube and all these streaming stuff. Man, I'm tired of this stuff, man. I'm exhausted of this. I just want actual good stuff, and in the wrestling, I'm happy, but man, it is a desert of content. This was, Netflix. I keep saying this, started this horrible trend. And now they've done it. They've killed television. They did it, guys. They killed television. And if Netflix goes down, yeah. Well, let's see. Well, that's one case, but I think they're doing just fine. In fact, they sold out those little small arenas. I think they're getting a lot more momentum. In fact, people on Max, supposedly, they love it. Let me see if I can get that article up. I just because again, let's see if I can find the stuff here. Let's see the AEW Max viewership numbers. Supposedly, again, if I can find it, there it is. Sports Illustrated with this supposedly the takedown or whatever. Let me see if I can put this thing up. Let me put it up because this is actually thing here about the viewership numbers on Max. And this is a couple months ago. And it says, I think I talked about this before, but doing 500,000 viewers on the first 24 hours of the Max streaming service. In fact, when Dynamite Max streaming numbers are combining with the TBS viewership, the viewership is close to 2 million, which is, with streaming, it's supposedly 1.5 million viewers, which I'm not, probably surprised, but not surprised. Why? Because everyone is like, there's no cable anymore. Cable is dead. Then Netflix and YouTube. No, I would say YouTube and streaming killed it long before everything else. Most people use their phones and tablets and PCs to stream stuff now. you know, and let's see here. Yeah, exactly. No abuse within 3 days, all this type of stuff, DVRs and everything. He said, yeah, this is they're big numbers, man. It's crazy. But yeah, that's what it is. He's well, yeah, that's the thing. He has yeah, but I think they're doing a strategy. I think Tony Khan and all those people there are having a strategy. I think they're having a strategy of letting their enemy do their mistakes. And let me tell you, if TKO actually releases Roman Reigns and we see Joe and and such like that walk down that aisle of AEW Dynamite and actually do it, and they have a year, at least a good 1 or 2 year run, and he has a great 1 or 2 year run, that is going to probably bring in more casuals. That's going to probably bring in more people there. And if he actually uplifts a very stacked, talented roster, and most of the youth roster there, seriously. And honestly, I mean, say if you want about AEW, they have a lot of young talent that are positioned to actually take over. They're like, yeah, they got Takesta. They have let's see, Osprey, he's still young. You have, let's see, who else who's that young? I think Lee Moriarty. He can be I think when he is such. Hold on. Hold on. Just a second. Yeah, you have many other young stars. AEW, and there's so many of them. I mean, Daniel Garcia can be reheated again. You have Hook, who's and there's so many. Who in WE other than Braun Breaker? There's nobody. They need to be doing the one thing they should be doing right now, and Hunter should be doing is not putting them in these goddamn little portless little Heyman type of stuff. They should be running the damn place. At this point, I'm at the desperateness right here. I mean, if WE is getting to the point, I mean, watching like other stuff here, old wrestling, I'm like, they need a new. I'm gonna say this. It might be a little blasphemous and such. Um, I'm watching reliving the war wrestling bios and such, and I'm like, man, I think it was I left. This is about the fandom. I left watching WCW because it went, and I did saw bits and pieces, and I rewatched the stuff and on on like YouTube, and not just that, but also on Peacock and such. I think that WCW had an idea with the New Blood and the Millionaires Club. There is something there. If they really, and I think that that's what WE needs to do now. They need to have a faction of that. They need something that just says the old guys need to go away, and then the new youth have to be. That should be Hunter's main focus now. I don't see any young guys right now that are just hungry enough to take that spot. Because even if they go through NXT, you know what happens? They get to the main roster and they're just forgettable. They're forgettable. They're done. No one cares. They're like, here we are. Grand opening, grand closing. They're stuck in these little mid-card pointless feuds, and then they'll win Money in the Bank and lose all the time. And the next, they put them, that sort of stuff. And next, they cash in on and lose or cash in and do stuff like that. There's nothing really tangible. There's no tangibles. There's no tangibles. There's no tangibles. There is no tangibles right now in no tangible. There is no tangibles right now in WWE and everything else. There's no tangible young star other than Braun Breaker. I don't think his orange tan ass is not going to say WE have a big, strong youth movement. That's what it is. That's what you have the problem with WE right now. There's too many late 30s and late and early 40-year-olds running the damn place, and there's no strong young talent. When's the last? Hell, I'll say Heyman. He's like 34, I think. Is there anyone in WWE right now who is like a main star who's 34 who is in that same position as Hangman Adam Page. Anyone. Anybody. I'm asking. I'm asking you, I'm asking the people, is there? I'm begging. I'm begging WWE. I am begging them to find that young star. They have it, but actually start building them up instead of just having them just sit there and be forgotten. And then when they finally get hot, either they get like lowballed in a deal, or they get shipped off to to someone else, and they start getting big and they have to come back again. Or maybe here's a crazy idea: you keep doing that, they might like, you know what, this WE thing is not my cup of tea. I'm gonna stay over at like for the ladies. They might stay for Stardom or and all the other lady federations and such like that. Or the guys, I might say, you know what, I'll just stay in MLW. I'll just go to stay in New Japan. Hell, I'll go to AEW. I'll go to CMLL. I'll go to the Maple Leaf Wrestling. Because I'm tired of this BS. They're tired of it. They're tired of being forgotten about, pushed for 2 or 3 months, and then just completely forgetting about, man. And TKO is trying to do the same thing they do with UFC, but they have to realize they're not, they don't have only one company. They're like, there's no monopoly here. WE is not monopoly anymore. They're not monopoly anymore. And now, if they try to pull the same stuff, they're going to have a depleted roster, less fans showing up, and I don't know about you, but there's going to be so many other people and there's so many other companies are going to look and say, you know what? This is going to be prime. It's prime real estate. They're going to be like, you know what? I'm shaking my stuff off and I go to WWE. I'm going to go to New Japan. I'm going to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. I'm going to go to, Lady Stardom or all those other places. They're going to go over there and they're going to stay there until they're going to have to get new management and they have to beg and actually overpay for some of these stars. That's the fate. And if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I want someone to tell me. Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the comments. Tell me if I'm going to be wrong. I don't see that happening. Unless WE gets that wake-up call and be like, oh my gosh, we can't do the same thing with yours. We got to pay them up. Pay those workers their money. If not, well, you're gonna have to go explain to shareholders why there's not like your arenas are half full. You gotta go explain to them, oh, our big stars now at a rival company, and they are now getting their big arenas and such. Big arenas and everything else. No, they know, but they don't care. They know, but they don't care. They care only about dollars and cents, ladies and gentlemen. They only care about dollars and cents. And eventually, until it starts ending up that stuff, I wouldn't decide if the Hunter might be leaving, or hell, I wouldn't be surprised if things don't go right. Shawn Michaels might leave. He might. Shoot, things are getting crazy right now. Look in the world right now. Yeah. But the issue is, ladies and gentlemen, that no one cares about long-term thinking. Long-term thinking and long-term booking and long-term ideas are not reasonable in this culture that we are living in America. I doubt it has ever been long-term planning, has ever been used in major ideas and corporations or all that other stuff in like politics or whatever. We are the want it now people. Stick it. Guys, we go in there, win it, won. We're going in, then, boom, boom, boom. We want it now. 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 That's what we are. That's what it is. We want it now. We don't care about rebuilds. We don't care about this. We don't have everything else. We want it now. We want it. Yeah, we want it, everything else. Don't want Vince McMahon. Hell no. That man. If you want if Vince was still there creating creative, it would be just as the WWE would be just like the Dallas Cowboys. And if you know the NFL, they have all the talent in the world, but their own but the way they have been managed would be, it would be just mismanagement over and over again. That's what it is. That's what they are. And they're and soon to be irrelevant. That's what they are. That's what WWE. They need a huge. I honestly, if I was running things, I would just do a clean goddamn sweep and find people who know what they're doing. I'm like, you know what? The people up there, I'm like, okay, Regal, you're running NXT. Sean, you're doing like Raw, and we'll find someone else to do SmackDown. Maybe get like Gail Kim to do it, because why the hell not? I mean, at this point, and just have Hunter be, backstage or whatever, doing talent relations or whatever, since he loves that stuff. Find people to do it, and then you just like, and get rid of the 3-hour shows and be more like tighter and have, okay, what your divisions are, take away some championship belts and everything else. Oh, I mean, Gail Kim. You know what? Gail Kim, or you know what? I'll do something better. I'll do something better. You know what? How about Jazz then? That's right. I would say Jazz be the person behind the scenes and such on SmackDown. Why not? She has probably more, knowing what she probably do, and probably have better and everything else. Oh, Raven? I don't know if Raven wants to do that. Does Raven wants that responsibility? Who knows? I'll say this. I don't want to see Russo back. As much as I think he's all right, but yeah. Oh, Jazz, R-Truth, Raven, former wrestlers who want to do that, then you do it. Hell, I would see if I was going to say you get Scott D'Amore up there, but he's busy doing Maple Leaf Wrestling. So I think they left. I think WWE really dropped the ball. I honestly think Scott D'Amore would probably been a better person than Triple H. I mean, for like the main reason I think that is because at least Scott D'Amore in 2017, when TNA was completely and totally, horrible, he kept the lights on. He kept the lights on barely, and they booked through it, and he got by hook or by crook. Scott D'Amore got both AEW and WWE to work with TNA. I don't see Hunter doing something like that. I don't see Sean doing something like that. Hell, I wouldn't think if Tony Khan in that situation, I don't think Tony Khan could do something like that. I know he's not perfect, but dang, he did his due diligence and such like that. I think there are so many other people right now would be so much better than Hunter at this point. Because again, you put people who are who can connect to the talent, and honestly, someone do it like that. Yeah, I don't know where they let him go either. I don't know. Maybe they thought it would be too much of a hindrance. I don't know. Maybe it's just business. He wanted to buy it. Scott D'Amore wanted to buy TNA, and I think they should have. Yeah, but that's what it is, man. That's what it is. I think but we all agree there need to be a just a shakeup, a huge shakeup to WWE in its management, because right now, if things go ahead and things get badly, I honestly think they wake up and say, "Oh my gosh, we made some mistakes and need to repay our guys," or two, they get so down bad, they get so beaten down, and my worst fear comes to reality. Vince McMahon comes in and be like, "All right, guys, I'm back. The power's back. Yeah, come back here," and everything else. My little dungeons, allegedly. But yeah, and Vince buys it back, and now we're just sitting here like, "Yep." It's in the pro wrestling version of the Dallas Cowboys will be right back. Everything would be stagnant. The talent would just be like, man, they have some good nights, but more often than not, no good long-term stories. Burnout, people will leave and have multiple people just leave and not come back. But hey, that's just my personal opinion. Could be wrong. And just, frustrating and such like that. But anyway, that's the show, ladies and such. Gosh. I'm still pissed I can't get a Switch 2. It's all sold out of where I'm at. It's all sold out. the Nintendo. I can't get one because it's all the other stuff here. It's not fair. I'm just, it's sold out. Uh, I'm still in the queue, and I'll never get out of the queue. It's permanently there. So yeah. Hmm. I'm exhausted. You can tell this whole day was exhausting, but hilarious too. And here's hoping by the end of this summer, we will have more clarity and more wiser than coming out instead of just, the stupidity, which has been growing up here. Yeah, they should. And some to me too. Yeah, just more. I need some money. Just, Anyway, that's the show for tonight. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you for listening to me, Duke CT. And peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.